This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Well, we already know the president is a multi-millionaire, but he still wants an extra $230 million. And you may be surprised where he wants it from. Let's talk about it. And joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about this topic, our political analyst, Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. Dr. von Biedenfeld, the big guy wants reparations. President Trump says he wants $230 million for being prosecuted in the past by the Department of Justice. Your thoughts about this? How realistic? Will this present any problems?
There are a number of problematic elements of this. And of course, the key phrase of Trump's presidencies has been unprecedented. No other public official has been successful in these types of claims because there's a lot of Department of Justice discretion in how they investigate individuals, how they construct methodology to pursue various claims or suspicions. And so it's going to be very difficult to show the actual monetary harm, even if, for example, an unjust investigation cost him the second election. What is the monetary value of that? It's a $400,000 position times 4. That's not $230 million of value. Now, we do know that the Secret Service lifetime protection would have already succeeded, so that's not a lost value. We know that there's $1 million office budget that any past president gets. That's not going to be a lost value. So in this sense, we're really taking money from the taxpayers because Department of Justice doesn't have their own money. It's our money. So in this case, President Trump would be seeking $230 million of our money to compensate him for possible harms caused by a Department of Justice investigation when he has successfully won a second term. So it's very much unprecedented, and it's problematic to see how this private gift of public funds would be legally justified.
Oh, he said, number one, he's going to give it away. Number two, he says he was really damaged in this case. We've heard the president say that. And of course, we have Pam Bondi, who he appointed, and she, I don't think she'll fight the president on this. And so is it up to her as head of the Department of Justice to say, let's approve this, let's approve this, let's give the president $230 million, or is this something that would have to go through Congress? Well, Congress is not really doing anything right now.
Right. And so we've seen this rubber stamp in both Article 1 and Article 3 branches for the executive. And so it's very likely that Attorney General Bondi would approve a settlement or a compensation, or even appoint somewhat inept attorney to, as we've seen with some of the U.S. attorneys where they've dropped the ball on prosecutions, it might be intentional. So we can see where even if this was taken to court, Attorney General might appoint someone less effective to argue the government's case. And in that sense, we could see Congress having to make a decision of whether they would actually appropriate funds for this. Because at the end of the day, they control the power of the purse. So any settlement approved, the money would still need to come from Congress and from us, the taxpayers.
And you're saying it's unprecedented to see anything like this, Dietrich. But I mean, the whole administration has been unprecedented. And would you be shocked? Would you be surprised if this actually goes through?
I wouldn't be surprised, but the challenge would be the next president would be in a bind because there would be a lot of sort of reactionary legislation that would come through. We saw a gentleman's agreement for past presidents up to FDR that we only served 2 terms. After FDR served 4, died in office, we saw this creation of the National Security Council so that the vice president had to be apprised. Truman wasn't aware of the nuclear development. And we also saw these constitutional limits on presidential terms. So I can see this being approved. I can see Congress rolling over and saying, well, it's not our money. It's Dietrich, it's Isaiah's. We'll just give the $230 million because we see a harm to the president by these unjust investigations and possibly trumped up charges. But then we would see the next president, next Congress, and next courts probably swing the pendulum the other way and say, we can't allow this to ever happen again.
All right. Thank you for your time, Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. We'll see what happens. And I think he will get that $230 million. You want to take a bet?
Yes, sir. I'm betting with you, though.
Well, I have no one to bet against. All right. Thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. And we'll be back with more Factor in just a moment. Stay with us. I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored, weeknights at 10:30 on Fox 26 and streaming on Fox Local.